Today on Global News Morning, we take a look at some of the nominees for the CFL's Most Outstanding Player Awards. And it's a stacked lineup for next year's Country Thunder Festival at Craven. We'll tell you more.
You're watching Global Regina. This is Global News Morning.
Good morning and thank you for joining us. So there were plenty of cheers yesterday as the Grey Cup made its way through Saskatchewan as celebrations ahead of Sunday's big game continue across the province. Yesterday, the Cup was loaded up in Saskatoon and escorted through several communities along the Highway 11 corridor, giving fans from Davidson, Chamberlain and Lumsden the chance to see the trophy up close.
I've been a Rider fan all my life, and my dad brought me up to enjoy the Riders, and I still do cheer green.
I have two grandsons that are in school. They're really excited because they're just learning about the Riders and Grey Cup, and we get all the cheering stuff out when they play.
A handful of CFL Player Award nominees were at the Delta Hotel last night, including the Alouettes' Eugene Lewis, the Lions' Nathan Rourke, and the Riders' own Mario Alford. Jacob Carr has more.
Lewis is the East Division nominee for the CFL's Most Outstanding Player after enjoying an incredible season which saw him land in the top 5 in the league in receptions with 91, receiving yards with 1303, and receiving touchdowns with 10. In some circles, despite the MOP nomination, Lewis could be considered underrated as a CFL receiver, but that doesn't faze him.
I think what happens is it kind of gets taken for granted because I make so many spectacular plays. When I do it, it's regular. So when I don't do it, it's what's going on with them, what's going on.
Rourke took the league by storm during the first half of the season at the helm of the BC Lions offensive attack before missing 2 months due to a foot injury. He would finish the season with 25 passing touchdowns and nearly 3,500 passing yards, and if you extrapolate his per-game averages over a full 18-game season, that would amount to 49 touchdowns and nearly 6,700 yards. Needless to say, the numbers he was putting up pre-injury were video game-like.
Rourke all the way down the field. Lucky Whitehead, he's got him in midfield, and he's gone to the 40, 30, 20, all the way home. 90 yards for Lucky Whitehead.
Alford enjoyed a historic season for Saskatchewan, returning a kick, punt, and missed field goal for a touchdown on the year, and thus becoming only the 5th player in the league's history to accomplish that feat. Alford will again don the green and white next season as the Riders signed him to a contract extension on Tuesday.
Dickey and Coach Majura, their scheme for me, I think it worked perfect for my style of play. So I like the way they draw up the game plan, and we discuss it during the week, and we make it happen.
The winners of the CFL Awards will be announced Thursday night at the Connexus Arts Center. Jacob Carr, Global Sports.
Well, we're just 3 days out from the Canadian Football League's biggest matchup of the year, and throughout the week, Global Sports anchor Brendan Purdy has taken us back to memorable Grey Cup moments throughout history. Now, this morning, let's jump back to November of 2007 at the Rogers Centre in Toronto.
Our third memorable moment in Grey Cup history happened at the exact same spot and location as Dave Ridgway's game-winning field goal in 1989. This time we fast forward to 2007, where the Riders were taking on their arch-rival Bombers in the Grey Cup. In the waning minutes of the fourth quarter, James Johnson made CFL history with his record 3rd interception of the game on Ryan Dinwiddie. That interception closed out victory for the Riders, en route to their 3rd Grey Cup.
2nd and 1, Dinwiddie throwing, intercepted. It's James Johnson, his 3rd interception of the game.
For his heroics in the 95th Grey Cup, James Johnson earned Most Valuable Player of the Game honors with his hat trick of interceptions. The first of the 3 getting the Riders on the board with a 30-yard pick 6.
Back to pass in the shotgun, and it's intercepted. James Johnson jumping the young quarterback, and he's bringing it back. Touchdown.
Johnson is the lone defensive player to take home the game's MVP award in the last 26 years, a performance that's gone down as a memorable moment in Grey Cup history.
And we've taken our weather center on the road this week, and today we're at Mosaic Stadium, where Moises Canales-Levine has your latest weather update. Hi, Moises, how's it going?
Good morning, Kimberly. Definitely the kind of morning where you're going to want one of these. It's quite cold here. We are with that wind chill, making it feel like it's minus 25. So it is actually. This is the good news, however. While we are seeing this as a cold day today, we're actually going to get those temperatures back up to the single digits as we get closer to the weekend. So you just got to hold on for a little bit longer, folks, as we are seeing that light snowfall and those strong winds. They're of course, contributing to this wind chill here this morning. Looking at our highs for the throughout the province this afternoon, minus 12 in Prince Albert, Flin Flon, a little bit of sunshine in the north. Seeing that in the central as well. Minus 13 in the Saskatoon area, minus 12 in Lloydminster and the Battlefords. And here in the south, it's going to be pretty cloudy, folks. We could see a little bit of sunshine in Maple Creek, minus 12 there, but Moose Jaw, some light snow. Regina, some light snow. Minus 12 for those highs, and you can see some minus 11s as well with Estevan and Yorkton. Now, looking at the future cast, not only are we going to see that light snowfall throughout these next couple of days, we are also going to be dealing with some cloudy conditions heading into the weekend. So we are going to see those overcast conditions, as you see here on your Friday night. Could see pockets of snowfall, could be pretty much flurries. However, with the winds and these cold temperatures, folks, we could be seeing wind chills before the weekend get up to that minus 30 mark overnight and early in the morning. Looking at the Regina area for the next 7 days, look at that. We're gradually getting warmer. Sunday, the big game is going to be with sunshine and minus 3 as our high. Monday, looking at minus 2 and cloudy. And a quick look at your Saskatchewan photo submission. Carol sending this one of a frosty Katepwa Lake.
Well, in the wake of a vacant Saskatchewan Housing Authority-owned house exploding on the weekend, Social Services Minister Gene Makowski says he's working to ensure vacant Housing Authority units are safe and desirable to move into. Makowski says there are at least 700 vacant units in Regina alone. He says Social Services is working on incorporating wraparound supports such as addiction services into housing projects to make them more accommodating. In June, the ministry told Global News there were 747 vacant units in Regina. When asked why the vacancy rate hasn't fallen since then, despite studies suggesting Regina is home to hundreds of homeless, Makowski said some remain unavailable due to tenant activity.
Sometimes, unfortunately, units are beat up pretty bad by some tenants, and there's extensive renovations. Of course, we have to wait for contractors to be able to come in, and we know the situation with trying to find trades and all that, so it does take time.
Makowski says inadequate accessibility and undesirable locations are other reasons units remain vacant. And new this morning, it's always a big day for music fans in Saskatchewan, as Country Thunder have just announced a stacked lineup for their 2023 show in Craven. Two-time CMA Entertainer of the Year, Keith Urban, will take to the main stage between July 13th and 16th in 2023. The all-star lineup also features performances from Tim McGraw and John Party as headliners for the festival, with Jess Moskalouk and High Valley also performing during the 4-day event. Country Thunder Music Festival's CEO Troy Volhofer says they cannot wait to bring fans, quote, one of the best lineups from start to finish in years. 4-day passes, reserved seating, camping, and more are available now at countrythunder.com. Still ahead, crews continue to investigate a deadly missile strike in Poland. We'll have more on Canada's contributions coming up. And a hometown hero shares his Grey Cup memories later in sports. And a live look now with our Global Regina City Cam, brought to you by the Capital Auto Mall on the corner of Rochdale and Pasqua. You're watching Global News Morning. Stay with us. This week, we've been talking with some riders, alumni who still call Saskatchewan home and who are also part of a Grey Cup winning team. To be able to play professionally for the organization that was your favorite team growing up, well, that would be a dream for most young athletes. For Chris Getzlaf, he was able to do that with the Riders. Plus, he was able to win the big game in his hometown and be named the game's most outstanding Canadian in front of family and friends back in 2013. Derek Bidwell has more.
You know, the clock hitting zero and knowing that that you accomplished it and that you just get that moment to soak in with all of the teammates that you've, you know, shared the field with, either just for that year or for multiple years leading up to that point.
Getzlaf was actually part of the organization in 2007, but was just a member of the practice squad that year. In 2013, he was a key member of the Riders' offense, playing in 17 games and registering over 1,000 yards receiving. He celebrated his Grey Cup victory that night in the Queen City, and then had the cup again to celebrate his marriage.
We ended up having an actual party because I got married, destination wedding. And we actually had a party in December that year. So I was able, that's the day I chose for having the actual Grey Cup. And it ended up getting broke, so I had to get it fixed the next day.
The Getzlaf name is also known to sports fans, especially hockey fans, due to Chris's younger brother, Ryan Getzlaf, who played for the Anaheim Ducks for 17 years, was the captain for 12, and helped the Ducks win a Stanley Cup back in 2007. But because of his schedule with Anaheim, he had to watch his brother accomplish his dream from afar in California.
He called me, I think he was still standing on the field, and I talked to him the first time, and it was just cool to see the excitement and hear the excitement in his voice, and just know what was ahead for him, to be able to go and celebrate with his teammates, and really enjoy that experience.
It's what you fight and bleed for so many months of the year, not including the training that you put in leading up to that season. So, you know, it's a moment that'll never be forgotten.
Well, we're getting set for your last OK Tire traffic report. Here, of course, from Mosaic Stadium and the wind blowing. It feels cold out there, folks. Wind chill at -25. So I thought, well, maybe I'd put on the toque and have the scarf here this morning. And might be a good idea for you if you're heading out the door, as we are currently at -13 in the Queen City. And yeah, that wind chill, -24. And because of those strong winds, we're seeing it anywhere from that 30 to 50 mark here in the Queen City. It is going to be probably our coldest day before we get into some milder temperatures on the weekend. Now, as part of your traffic report, we're going to look at your gas prices, and they're on the decline as we're seeing more pumps reporting prices below that 160 mark. Even for that bottom price, Regina Cabs 145.9 this morning. So some good news before the weekend if you're heading out. Speaking about heading out, looking at the highway report brought to you by CAA Saskatchewan. Winter driving conditions throughout our province this morning. So that means icy or slippery sections, even some travel not recommended in the Swift Current area. All right, we want to end the show with some your Saskatchewan photo submissions. Carol sending this one from a frosty Katepwa Lake, looking frosty here as well at Regina's Wascana Lake. Rita sending this one, a beautiful shot there of the frozen and frosty view. And Laura Lee from Strongfield catching a sunset at the farm.
Well, earlier this week, Christina Applegate officially received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Thank you for standing beside me through all of this. Oh, by the way, I have a disease. Did you not notice? What?
This marked the first public appearance for the actress since announcing that she was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis in August of 2021. Applegate was joined by Married with Children co-stars Katie Sagal, David Faustino, and Dead to Me co-star Linda Cardellini for the special ceremony. A goat from Alberta is going viral for being a cool babysitter. Delilah, an 18-month-old goat that apparently loves pushing a little 1-year-old Henry around in the stroller. The parents who own a sanctuary farm say Delilah is so sweet and friendly, and she's literally the goat. the greatest of all time. And if you're a fan of the holiday classic A Christmas Story, this might be for you. The home that the Parker family lived in from the movie has hit the market. Located in Cleveland, Ohio, it's where many iconic scenes were shot and underwent a major renovation so it can retain the 1980s feel from the movie. However, one thing to note, it attracts hundreds of visitors every year around Christmas time and is ranked one of the top 4 attractions in Cleveland. No word yet on how much it's being listed for. And you can watch today's developing stories on our website and tune in tonight for Global News at 6. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy your day.